Anyway, we got one more minute. We're going to get started. Remember tonight, and anytime y'all are watching, please type in your questions. I do the best we can to answer every one of them while we're here. You guys know during the week, we're firing off answers all the time to folks. So y'all got questions, get them in, because that's what we're here for, is to help you guys understand how health works, understand how the products work, understand what you can do to get yourself healthier. And this is obviously a huge part of it. So huge part of it.
We are live.
All right. Well, I'm going to get started then. Sound like plan?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, well, good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a blessed day. I'm Dr. Eric Naputi. If it's your first time listening to me talk, I hope you've had some coffee today, or maybe a happy cap, because I'm all fired up and ready to rock and roll. Those of you that are watching on social media, please tag some friends, share this with people. I guarantee you, just like every week when I get done, we literally have hundreds of people that say, man, I know my brother, my sister, my mother, my whoever should have heard this talk. So you need to invite them to come here, because it's an opportunity to learn a little bit more about health. And I'll just tell you right now, that's really what everybody wants. I mean, you know, I don't know about you, but in my world, every time I talk to someone, even if they don't know I'm a doctor, after about 5 minutes of, you know, catching up and saying, hey, we're talking about health stuff. So if you've got an opportunity to help yourself or help others, that's really going to be a blessing. So here's our plan for tonight. What I'm going to do is, I have a ton of information that I want to cover. I'm going to hit it at you really quick. Remember, we record these, so you can always go back. You can always go back and watch the videos. And I would encourage you to go back on our pages and watch these videos from before, because we cover a lot of the same stuff each time, but we also tweak it a little bit differently. So the first thing I want to do is I want to explain gut health 101. So let's just talk about the importance of gut health, GI health. And the reason why GI health is so important, just remember this, even the father of medicine, Hippocrates, says, first heal the gut and everything else follows place. Okay, you get the gut right, everything else is right. So if your gut's not right, you cannot get rid of pain and inflammation. Just remember that. If your gut's not right, you cannot get rid of pain and inflammation. If your gut's not right, your hormones can't work like they're supposed to. Well, if your hormones aren't working like they're supposed to, your metabolism can't work like it's supposed to. So those of you that are trying to lose weight, trying to get your insulin under control, get your blood sugar right, get your cholesterol balanced out, stop craving sweets and having ups and downs of all that stuff, you can't get it right unless your gut's right. And you cannot get your immune system right, because 80% of the immune system is in the GI tract. It's in this area called the gut-associated lymphatic tissue, known as the GALT, the GALT. So if you have autoimmune problems, it's probably coming from the gut. If you have a weakened immune system, it could be coming from the gut. So if we don't have the gut right, we can't get anything else right in our health. And then another thing and I'm going to hit this one really heavy tonight, your neurotransmitters. And I know it's not going to be easy for you to see, but I've got them written up here on my little whiteboard. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that are produced in your GI tract. And what the chemicals do in the GI tract, the neurotransmitters, is they go up to the brain and they tell the nerves and the body what to do. And so these neurotransmitters are responsible for feeling good, positive emotions, motivation, focus, concentration, energy, all that stuff. So I want you to understand that the gut is the keystone component to health. I mean, there's only one system in the body that's more important than the GI tract. And I know people are going to argue with this, but I say it's the number one most important system is the brain and spinal cord. That's your central nervous system. I think the gut is even more important than the cardiovascular system. Yes, I know if your heart doesn't work, your body doesn't work, but neither does your gut. The problem is that most people are not educated on how the gut works very well. And I'm not talking about just regular lay folks like all of us here. I'm also talking about doctors. And that's a big deal. And so I promise you, I'm going to lay some stuff out for you tonight. And then when we get done laying this out, I'll go through and answer your questions about your symptoms, because I know that's the thing that you care about the most, are your symptoms, because you've been trained, and I've been trained, at least originally I was trained or AKA brainwashed into thinking that if you feel good and look good, you must be healthy. Well, how many of you know people right now that look good and felt good and dropped dead of a heart attack? How many of you know people that look good and felt good and had cancer, a heart disease, diabetes, something going on with them? They looked the part. They were thin. They looked okay. They weren't on too many medications, but they were sick and they didn't even know it, you know? And that's the case with most people. So let me be real clear on what we're going to discuss tonight. Number one, we're going to be talking about what health is. We're going to be talking about primarily gut health, because how gut health affects everything in the body is important. And then you need to understand how, if the gut's not right, nothing else in the body can be balanced out. And so I think it'll make sense once I get into this a little bit. So one of the things that I also really want to say this as well. Remember that getting healthy is a process, or for our Canadian friends, it's a process, right? It took you months, years, or decades for your body to get a certain way. And so your body has changed through what's called adaptive physiology. Do you know what symptoms of adaptive physiology are? Pain, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, even obesity. I mean, a lot of things that you have in your body is an adaptation to the stress that you've had in life. And stress is more than just emotional stress. It's emotional, it's physical, it's chemical, it's neurological, it's spiritual, all that stuff. And health is really having a balance in all of those things. It's not just looking good and feeling good. I want you to look good and feel good, but I want your body to function well. And so it's a process of getting yourself where you're at, and it's going to take a process to get you where you want to be. And I know sometimes people get frustrated because, first of all, every individual is an individual. Every individual is unique. Everybody's different. Everybody comes from their own circumstance, their own background, their own genetic makeup, their own lifestyle, etc. So you may see some folks in here on our Facebook pages and all this other stuff that's out there that, man, they did this and all of a sudden, wham, they got this amazing result. You may see some other folks that it takes time to get. That's exactly what I need you to understand, is it's a process and it takes time. Remember this, and then I'm going to jump into this. It takes the human body, and everybody's a little different, but it takes on average approximately 90 days. Somebody write this down, remember it, burn it into your eyeballs. It takes approximately 90 days to make a shift in physiology. That's a shift, okay? So it takes 90 days from starting something to make a shift in physiology. It takes about 6 months of continually doing that right thing to start making that to be a permanent change in your physiology. That's why many of you have done weight loss programs before in the past, and you lost some weight after 12 weeks or 6 weeks or however long you did it. And then not only did you gain the weight back, but you put more on top of it, and it became harder to lose the weight because your body's doing all this other stuff now. So it takes 90 days to make a change. It takes 6 months of consistently doing something for that to become a permanent change. It takes about 9 to 12 months before that becomes a completely new neurological pathway and pattern in the body. You remember at the beginning of this talk tonight, I talked about how the brain and spinal cord were the most important part of the body? Well, they are. It's your computer system. That's your programming. Your brain and spinal cord tell the rest of your body what to do, including your gut. And it's all about wiring and firing and patterns together. So most of you during the first 90 days of doing a new plan, new program, new food, etc., you're breaking up old patterns. You're breaking up those old habits. Well, while you're breaking up those old habits, you're establishing new ones. So just remember that the years of hard living and stress and toxins in your life, those got to come out. That's got to change. And sometimes those aren't always the most exciting and fun things to do. I'm actually in the middle of a detox right now. I'm purposely trying to detox. And let me just tell you, it's not the most exciting thing to do, right? Truth be told, Dr. Eric doesn't like going to the bathroom 5 to 6, 7, 8 times a day. He also doesn't like drinking 2 gallons of water every day. All this stuff that we do to push ourselves, but it's all about the process. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to talk about neurotransmitters first, because I get a lot of questions about anxiety, depression, fatigue, no motivation, kids with ADD, ADHD, and adults with ADD, ADHD, anyone who's on the autistic spectrum, which is a very wide spectrum, right? And everything in between on there. So I want to talk a little bit about your neurotransmitters. So you guys, I want you to help me with this, okay? So here's, and then we're going to go over the products and go over all that stuff, I promise. But I want to hit the neurotransmitters, because I've been getting so many questions about this. It's not even funny. I had so many of them today, it wasn't even funny. So the first neurotransmitter I want to talk about is something called serotonin. Well, serotonin is the mood. It's the mood enhancing neurotransmitter. It's the chemical that's made in your gut that makes us feel happy, that makes us feel a sense of well-being. That's made in your gut. How many people do you know that don't feel well, that don't just have a sense of well-being? Like, that's not just because. It literally is lack of serotonin in their body. Now, many of you have heard of people taking serotonin inhibiting medications, SSRI medications. What that does is, because you're not producing enough serotonin, it slows down the uptake of the serotonin into the cells so that you get a bigger rush when it does go in. Well, wouldn't it be nice to produce enough serotonin? If we get the gut right and using our products like the Happy Tides, the BioMyX, and especially the nootropics, the coffee, and the Happy caps that we have, that's a great product to drive serotonin levels up. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. You do not get to take these supplements and throw your depression medication away. You do, though, get an opportunity to change your physiology over the course of time, and then work with the healthcare provider that put you on those medications, work to get off that. And you'll blow that doctor's mind, because they've never seen their patients get off those medications successfully, but they've also never seen anyone have nutritional products that can improve their serotonin. Number 2 is dopamine. And this is a big one. Dopamine is the second one that I want to hit. And dopamine is the pleasure chemical in the body. That's the feel good, the real feel good, the pleasure one. That's the one when it's low. That's the one when people get addicted to stuff. So people ask me all the time, Dr. Eric, what about addictions? What about like alcoholism? What about addiction to anything, gambling, sex, drugs, whatever it is? People do those things to get a dopamine rush in their body. Okay. And so if you can consistently produce enough dopamine in the GI tract, which you cannot do if you have leaky gut syndrome, which I will explain leaky gut in just a minute. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that if these neurotransmitters don't work, we get addiction. We don't have motivation, and we don't want to move our body. When dopamine levels are low, we just don't have the chemical spark to get up and go, man, I want to get moving and exercise or do something. How many of y'all have ever experienced that when you just don't want to do anything? No motivation, right? But how many of you then have experienced like, wow, I really want to get something done today? That's the dopamine surge that causes that. And if you have leaky gut syndrome, which 90+% of Americans do, 90+% of people in the world do, especially those that eat a Western diet, dopamine levels are going to be low. Another one is called GABA. Okay. GABA is a neurotransmitter that helps with focus, and it helps keep you calm. Anybody ever heard of anything like ADD, ADHD, easily distracted, unorganized? It's usually low GABA. Do you know anybody that's has anxiety or even insomnia? That's usually low GABA. So the coffee is amazing. The nootropics that are in our coffee helps produce GABA. L-theanine, the amino acid that's in the coffee and in the Happy Caps, helps produce GABA. Well, so do the nucleotides and the BioMyX. When we take those, it helps nourish our gut. That GABA can then make that brain help. So then if it can do that, therefore it can help with things like focus, concentration, anxiety, depression, insomnia, etc. See, I'm trying to show you the root cause of a problem instead of just talking about the symptoms. Then we look at something called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is another neurotransmitter. Acetylcholine is all about learning. You know anybody that's got trouble learning or remembering stuff? You have kids that have trouble learning in school. It's usually a leaky gut problem because they're not producing enough acetylcholine. That's a big deal. You guys, I can't tell you how many thousands of kids that parents have brought to me and said, and adults, by the way, because usually if the kids have the symptoms, the moms and dads do too. Apples and trees, you know how that saying goes, right? You get the gut right, the body can heal itself. You increase that acetylcholine, learning goes up. Okay. Capacity to remember and to understand and memory goes up. All right. As we get older, our body's production of our own nucleotides, which is what's in our happy tides, goes down. So our body can't repair and heal itself like it should, and our gut gets messed up, and we stop producing the right amount of acid in the stomach, and so we don't make these neurotransmitters. So we get memory issues. We can't learn as much. How many ever heard that phrase, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Well, if that old dog doesn't have acetylcholine, that's right. And if the gut's not right, you can't produce it. Does that make sense? Okay. The next one is called noradrenaline. Noradrenaline is also needed for concentration. Again, ADD, ADHD, focus issues, I mean, you forget where you put stuff, you forget where you're going, not able to concentrate. I mean, that is such a big issue in the world today because of the foods we eat, we're stressed out, because of the environmental stresses we have, and because of blue screen technology, not on these things, but on these things and others, that messes up our neurotransmitters. Another one is called glutamate. Glutamate's made in the stomach, in the GI tract as well. And that one's for memory. Again, goes back to memory issues. Melatonin. This is a very big one. Very big one. Did you know that that insomnia is one of the biggest problems that plagues men and women across the planet? Low melatonin production in the body, in the GI tract, because of leaky gut syndrome, causes those problems. Now, listen to this. Here's what happens during the day. When you wake up, when you get up, you get stress. I mean, I don't care if it's good or bad stress. Everybody in the world has stress. And as the day goes on, our stress levels go up. When we go to sleep at night, we have got to have a good production of melatonin in our body so that our brain can shut off one part of it, which is the stress component, and the rest, relaxation, healing, digestion, and repair component turns on. If you don't have good gut health, you can't produce melatonin, and that cannot happen for you. Is this helping anybody? Are you digging this so far? Does this make sense? Give me a little feedback. I want to make sure you guys are good on this. I'll answer your questions, but I need you to understand the why. You ever heard that phrase, give a man a fish or teach him to fish? I'm trying to teach y'all how to fish right now. Okay. And then when you start learning how to fish, you better start fishing for some people, because we got lives to change, people. We only got this much time to do it. Okay. Then the last one I'll talk about is norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is another neurotransmitter. This one helps a lot with the sleep-wake cycle. So can you see how if the gut's not right, you emotionally cannot be balanced? And in a world where 86% of people on the planet are emotionally overstressed, can't you see how what we're doing can make such a huge impact on the world as we know it? I mean, think about this. I mean this with all my heart. If every man, woman, and child on the planet that could do it would do, number one, detox protocol to do the gut right food plan the best they can. Okay. If they could do that, number one, if they could do the triad, which is the, oh, I don't have them down here. It's the happy tides. Y'all know what happy tides are. Those are nucleotides. Those nucleotides are the basic fundamental building blocks of RNA and DNA, which is, those are the signaling components to protein to heal tissues. Nucleotides help heal all tissues in the body. Let me say that one more time. Nucleotides, aka happy tides, which is the most potent form of the purest form of nucleotides on the planet that you can get your hands on, and nobody else has them besides us. Did you hear what I just said? No one else has that besides us. You cannot get it anywhere, okay? And they're all the nucleotides. And those nucleotides help shore up the gut, and they also help heal the tissues of the muscles, the nerves, the joints, the body, etc. Nucleotides equal healing. Just remember that. Nucleotides equal healing, all right? The second thing that helps heal the gut is the Biome-X with A, D, and K in it. The Biome-X, which is butyrate, or also known as butyric acid. Butyrate, which the body needs to heal the gut, to seal up those leaks that happen. And those leaks happen, by the way, because of too much stress emotionally, too much stress chemically, all the toxins in our air, the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink. The average person comes into contact between 500 and 800 toxins every day. And when we get bombarded with toxins, our lining of our gut starts to open. It's only one layer cell thick. It's macroscopic. And then all of our toxins leak out that are supposed to be in our intestines, that's supposed to exit out of our body, out of the you-know-what areas of our system. And that then causes us to have anxiety, depression, sore, stiff joints, headaches, migraines, fatigue, skin issues, environmental and food allergies, and the list goes on and on and on. Just like Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said, if you don't fix the gut, you cannot fix anything else. So the tributylin, which is in our Biome-X, tributylin is the only way that we know now of, and you got to understand, I've searched the globe for this stuff, the only delivery system that allows that butyric acid to get past the stomach, past the large intestine, and into the small intestine where absorbability is supposed to happen. Game changer, especially with vitamin A, D, and K. Those are some of the most deficient vitamins that people have. And by the way, vitamin D is the most important thing. You should be hearing about that now more than ever. I'm just going to say this so you can hear this, because this is to help you. 83% of people that died last year and this year of this virus thing that's going on were deficient in vitamin D. Did you hear what I just said? And one of the biggest reasons why they were deficient is because their nutrients were leaking out of their gut. When you can't hold your nutrients into your small and large intestine because the cells have opened and they literally leak out, the analogy I give people is it's a lot like filling up your gas tank with filling your car up with gas, but half your gas leaks onto the floor of your garage. It's not good. It's not good. Okay. Now, let's move on. Let's move on to talk a little bit about some more about the detox processes, because a lot of you are experiencing detox. Again, you've had months, years, or decades of stresses, chemical toxins, drugs that you've taken, recreational and prescription, right? Toxins that are in our food, toxins that are in our water, toxins that are in the stuff that we wash our body and our clothes with. So those have to come out of the body. And last time I gave some tidbits on detox, but I want to give some more again, because a lot of you are experiencing some detox. And I'm always going to tell you, just power through, because that's what you need to do. And detox can last anywhere between 3 days, sometimes up to 3 weeks, depending on how toxic you are. And I'm going to say something, and I mean this with as much love and respect as I can. The reason why you're toxic is because of you, nobody else. It's because of you. Okay. The life you've lived, whether you've known about it or not, the lifestyle you've had, what you've done and what you haven't done. So we've got to get those toxins out of the body. So number one, you're going to hear me talk about it. Babette, Dr. Epitropoulos, and Tony, we're all going to always talk about, it's all about step one. We got to clear out the clutter. We got to clear the clutter. You got to get the toxins out of the system. Here are a couple things that you can do to help yourself. Somebody write these down or remember them, or do both. Number one of the things I talked about was the importance of hydration. When you're pushing toxins out of the body, you've got to hydrate. I'm going to talk about the importance of that in a minute, because that's part of how the cells in the body heal. Number one, you got to hydrate. I recommend half of your body weight in good, healthy fluids per day. And good, healthy fluids are water. There are also herbal teas, the warrior's blood teas, healthy fluids like that. Not sodas, not juice, not milk, none of that stuff. Okay, healthy fluids. All right, especially when you're investing in your health. Like, I get it. You're like, well, what about wine? Jesus turned water into wine. He did, but you know what? You don't got to drink it all the time. And if you're going through a detox, you don't need to have it in there. A couple days, couple weeks, then you can get back to having a little bit. All things in moderation. Okay. So number one is hydration. Number two, do the gut right food plan. If you don't know what that is, then get with the person that got you on this and ask them, hey, how do I get that gut right food plan? And do it the absolute best that you can do it. The more disciplined you are, the better your body's going to respond. Okay. Sweating. I know this is a 4-letter word for some people, but sweating. I mean, I love my infrared sauna that's right there, but I like just being outside when it's hot, because your skin is the largest organ in your body. It is the biggest detoxifying organ in your body. And the more you sweat, the faster you get your toxins out of your system. Your body detoxifies through its breath, the skin, your bowels, and your urine. So that's all of those 4 steps. Get those things going, and that will help you. Hydration helps you pee out your toxins, helps you hydrolyze your fat cells as well, and your toxins, which I'm going to talk about next. Sweating is a game changer. Okay, now don't get in there and overheat yourself and do too much, but sweating every day is a great detox. Another one, Epsom salt baths. I tell everybody all the time, one of the best things you can do to detox, get in the bathtub, soak your entire body for 40 to 50 minutes, 60 minutes if you want to, in Epsom salt. I usually tell people to put about a pound of Epsom salt in the tub, soak in there, hot water, not so hot it burns your skin, but hot enough it opens up your body and allows you to detox. It'll literally pull toxins out of your body. All Epsom salt is magnesium. It's 90+% magnesium. That's all it is. I think it's like 97 or 98% magnesium. Go buy some cheap magnesium and start using that. Those of you that are going through struggles, use this. These will help you. I have hundreds of thousands of patients. I've done this with over the last 20 years. It works if you work it. I'm giving you pearls to help you get healthier, not just get rid of your symptoms. Your symptoms will go away, but you got to get to the root cause of those symptoms. Here's another one. Pink Himalayan salt, healthy salt. Pink Himalayan salt has between 60 to 70 different minerals in it. Most people are mineral deficient because you don't eat enough dark leafy green vegetables. You don't have enough fiber in your diet. If you can get those in your system, that pink Himalayan sea salt, about a third of a tablespoon a day, is a game changer for you. Okay. Put it on your food, put it in your water. It helps you avoid what is often known as a keto flu, the detox flu, because it gets you mineralized and it gets you energy. Water and minerals helps keep our body moving. We are an electrical circuit. We're trillions and trillions of cells that are held together by electrical current. If we don't have good current because we don't have enough water, we don't have enough minerals, we get tired, our metabolism sucks, our hormones go to the crapper, we get fat, all the stuff that we don't want to do. Our stomach gets upset, we get sore, stiff joints, all that stuff. Okay. And those are the ones I'm going to give you for now. Okay. Now here's another one that here's a topic that I really want to cover. Okay. Just indulge me for a couple more minutes and I'm going to start hitting your questions up. Okay. All right. Now I want to talk about the process of healing. Now think about this. I know it's not easy to see, but think about these cells right here. See how they're big and thick? And in the middle, there's a circle that's called the nucleus. They're big, fat, thick, juicy cells that are stuck together and they're sealed. Man, that's a healthy body. That's a healthy person. Well, if you get stress, okay, stress is emotional stress, it's physical stress. If you get in an accident, you sit too much, you don't move enough, you're overweight, whatever. You have all those are physical stresses. Chemical stresses, you don't eat enough. Here's the big chemical stresses. You do not eat enough fiber, number one, okay? You don't have enough good, healthy bacteria in your body, number two, because you don't eat fermented foods. You don't like sauerkraut. You don't like vegetables. That's why you're sick. What we're talking about are the most important supplements that you can take to supplement a bad lifestyle. But the worse your lifestyle is, the more supplements you need. And you cannot, I'm going to say this real slowly, you cannot out supplement a crappy lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that really, truly want to get healthy, those of you that really, truly want to get your X, Y, and Z problems to go away, and you really, truly want to be in control of your life again, you've got to change and tweak your lifestyle. Eating the standard American diet, which is SAD, doesn't work. It leads to sickness and disease. I got Albert Einstein picture right here on the wall, okay? And Albert says, if you continue to do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you've always gotten. That's the definition of insanity. We're giving you an opportunity to make some big changes, but you got to take advantage of that opportunity. I can only give you the map, the keys in the car. You still got to drive it. So if these cells, because of stress, they start to separate, now what happens is we start to get toxins leaking out into different areas of our body. If those toxins leak out of our gut into our muscles, you get fibromyalgia, muscle pain. If they leak out and go into your joints, you get arthritis, you get joint pain, you get all this stuff. If those toxins stay outside of the cells, they're not supposed to be there. The brain says that's not normal. I have to create an immune response to that, a hyperimmune response, which is known as autoimmune disease. We're talking about things like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, fibro, all kinds of stuff comes from that. So if you want to fix those symptoms, you got to fix the cause. You got to seal this up. And if you got leaks in your bucket, you got to put some spackle on it. Well, that's what nucleotides are. And if these cells are starting to get sick and shrink because they go from this big, fat, thick, juicy cell to these tiny little odd shaping cells with all these little, I know they're not easy to see, but they're red little polka dots in there. Those are your toxins. And so your fat and toxins are stored together. And so we got to push that stuff out of there. So we got to seal the gaps. We do that with nucleotides. We got to make those cells swell up and get big and thick again. We want them to absorb water. And a lot of you are experiencing that, aren't you? You're starting to take these nucleotides. You're starting to take the BioMyX with ADK. The cells are starting to heal and get bigger. And you're saying, well, I'm starting to gain some water weight, or my joints are starting to get a little bit stiff, or my skin's a little bit tight. That's your body trying to heal. Now watch this. What happens is this: normal cells, when they get sick because of what I just told you, because of stress, physical, chemical, emotional, spiritual stress. The cells get sick. Now listen, your health is in direct proportion to the health of your cells. I was asked this years ago. They said, Dr. Eric, what's the number one cause of sickness, death, and disease on the planet? I said, cellular sickness. If your cells are sick, you're sick. If you want healthy cells, you have to have the right ingredients to make those cells healthy. And one of those ingredients are nucleotides. You guys know once we get over a certain age, 25 to 30, our hormones start going down. Guess what else starts going down? Our own production of nucleotides. So taking supplements, which is known as exogenous supplementation of nucleotides, has been proven to help with gut problems, which is everything, right? Which is everything from heartburn, indigestion, sore stiff joints, anxiety, depression, constipation, all that kind of stuff, skin issues, allergies, etc. All right. But the deal is this, is that once we get these, step one to healing these cells is they're going to fill with fluid. Those little cells that are supposed to be big like this, that are shriveled up and sick like that, are going to swell with fluid. That's called hydrolysis, okay, or hydrolysis, whatever you want to call it. But they open up and all that fluid gets in there. It expands that cell. When that cell expands and gets open, you may feel bloating. You may feel stiff in your joints. You may feel not the best, a little gassy. That's your body healing. You go, oh no, these products don't work for me. They're working perfectly for you, but you don't have a user's manual for how your body works. So you're making an assumption. And my mom taught me that an assumption makes an ass out of you and me. I'm sorry I said it, but that's the truth. And so when these cells start to swell up with fluid, you get this hydrolysis. Now these cells swell up. Now what happens? The second step is now it pushes the toxins out. Think about it like a sponge. It's got to suck that fluid back up in it, those nutrients, to pump it back up like that. Now those pores can open up and you can push the toxins out and you can push the fat cells out. Yes, I said that. The fat cells, the toxins can come out, but not if you don't have enough water. How long does that take, Eric? Well, it could take anywhere between 3 days to 3 weeks. I've seen it take even longer with really, really sick people. And we're going to talk about phases and dosing, I'm sure, later, okay? Now, once we push the toxins out, I always tell people the step one is like a sponge. It's like swelling back up. Step two is like flushing the toilet. That stuff's got to come out. And how does that come out? It comes out through sweat. It comes out through breath. It comes out through bowel movements, which is why sometimes people get diarrhea when they detox. A lot of times if they get constipated, it's because they don't have enough water in their system, or they're sweating. They're like, man, my skin smells funny, or my breath is really bad, or man, I'm urinating all the time and it's like a strange color, strange smell. That's a detox. That's a good thing. Does that make sense? That's a very good thing. Okay. Now, so first, does that make sense with that? Hopefully that makes sense on that process right there, because that's important. And that's what the nucleotides and the biomechanics of ADK are doing, as long as you're pushing the water and all that stuff in your system. So now let me answer this question, because some of you, not many, but some people say, man, when I start doing the coffee or I do the happy caps, which are our energy producing products, I get tired. I feel fatigued. I feel good for a minute and then I crash. Why is that? It's supposed to give me energy. Listen, you're not a car. It's not like just putting gas in there and you just go. What happens is this. Energy in our body is produced by our cells, primarily the part of our cell called a mitochondria. Okay. Mitochondria helps the body make something called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, ATP. That's the energy for your body. That's what makes you go. Okay. Now, normally, most people that eat a Western diet, that have leaky gut syndrome and that are stressed out, their body burns sugar as fuel, not fat. Sugar, not fat. So when you burn sugar as fuel, it's like burning nitric oxide. You go whoop, but then you crash real hard. That's what's happening, because your body is not used to taking fat and burning it long term. You see, fat burns like kerosene. It's clean. It burns hot. It burns long. It's healthy. It's clean. That's good. It takes time to shift from a sugar burn to a fat burn. My experience to get really, truly long-term shift in that, about 90 days. About 90 days of consistently doing 90 days. Well, I just want to take a pill and be perfect. Well, I'm sorry. I got some, oceanfront property in Arizona I can sell you too if you like, but that don't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. Okay. So you're toxic. Most of you are toxic. So the first couple of weeks to month or so, it's all about getting those toxins out of your body. I gave you some tips you can do to help with that stuff. Okay. Now, if you're taking the happy tides, or sorry, the happy caps and or the coffee and you feel tired, it's because your body is not used to shifting from a sugar burn to a fat burn yet. It will. Stay consistent. Make sure you're eating right. Do the gut right food plan. Put the water in your system like you're supposed to. All those little things make a difference. Many of you have had so much stress on your liver for so long. It's probably not from drinking alcohol too much, but some of you it may be. But most of you have stress on your liver because you've eaten too much sugar your whole life. The standard American diet leads people, or the standard Western diet leads people to eating on average 150 pounds of sugar per year, per person. 150 pounds. That's a lot of sugar. That's an average per person. Think about that. Think about how much stress that puts on your liver. And then everything backs up. You get leaky gut, you get all these other problems, and your energy goes down because your body's not used to burning it. Stay the course. It took you a while to get away. It's going to take you a while to get the way that you want to. So there's that. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to share with everyone, and then I'm going to get into your questions, okay? How do I know I need this? Well, first of all, everybody needs this. I mean, everybody needs this. I'm just going to tell you, here's who does it. And then people go, oh, of course he says that. Well, you do. Just like everybody needs water and everybody needs food. Do you understand that? Everybody needs food and water. Your body needs movement too. That's part of keeping us healthy. You can choose not to drink water. You can choose not to, eat. You can choose not to breathe. You can choose not to move, but you're not going to be healthy, right? So whenever you're not under stress and when you're not eating the standard American diet and when you're not exposed to medications, which all of us are exposed to antibiotics all the time. It's in the meat we eat and it's in a lot of the water we drink and some of the stuff we bathe in. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. It's hard to get all those chemicals out of our drinking system, out of our water. So if you're a healthy person, everything's good, everything's perfect, you're what I call phase 1. Phase 1 dosing is real simple. Everybody listen to this. It's real simple. This is what I call maintenance dose. It's 1 scoop a day of nucleotides. So your happy tides. It's one scoop a day or 1 pill a day of your BioMyX with ADK. And it's either, not both, it's either or either, however you say it, 1 coffee or 1 happy cap. That's it. Okay, that's phase 1. Phase 2 is if you have some mild stresses, a little bit of aches and pains, a little bit of arthritis, a little bit of reflux, a little bit of heartburn, a little bit of something mild. Now you go phase 2. That's 1 scoop twice a day, 1 BioMyX twice a day. Again, either 1 coffee or 1 happy cap a day. Okay. If you're sick and you're on medications and you got high blood pressure, you got diabetes, you got high cholesterol, you got heart disease, you got all this stuff, I usually start folks at phase 3. That's 1 scoop 3 times a day, 1 BioMyX 3 times a day, 1 coffee or 1 happy cap in the morning. If you're phase 4, that means you're really sick. That means you've got end-stage heart disease. That means you got end-stage kidney failure. That means you got cancer. That means you got you're not doing well. I put those folks on phase 4, and anyone with chronic neurological problems, phase 4. Okay. Now, the sicker you are, the more you're going to possibly detox. Some people don't detox at all. Some people detox, don't even know it because they have a good pathway. Let me say this. There's a gene in the human body called the MTHFR gene. I'll say that again, MTHFR gene. That gene is responsible for the body's ability to detoxify itself. 75% of people on this planet right now do not have MTHFR genes. Those people don't detox as well. Those are the folks that get the rashes on the skin to break out. Those are the folks that get the upset tummy occasionally. Those usually are the people that are sicker anyway because their body's toxic. It's real simple. Healthy cells don't have a lot of toxins, and it makes a healthy person. The triad helps with that. But you still got to hydrate. You still got to clean up the diet. You still got to do all that kind of stuff. Okay. So how do I know I need it? Well, if you're breathing and you're alive, you need this. And how long should you take it for? As long as you want to be healthy and stay that way. And the longer you're on a product, the longer you're doing the right stuff, the more it becomes a habit, a pattern. I don't know if you know this. In our body, we have DNA, genetics, right? We have two kinds of genes I'm going to talk about. We have one set of genes that are our finite genes. Those are the genes that make up the color of your eyes, the color of your skin. That's how tall you're going to be. That's why you look like your mom and dad. Those are finite genes. They ain't changing, okay? But the majority of our genes are called epigenes, epigenetic genes. Dr. Bruce Lipton was the father of epigenetics, good friend of mine, University of Illinois, great dude, smart dude. And he found out that the majority of our genes, some 80% of our genes, turn on or turn off, turn healthy or turn sick based off of our lifestyle. Let me say that again. Genes turn on or turn off based on our lifestyle. It can consistently, you're not going to want to hear this, but this is the truth. It can take up to 12 to 36 months, up to 3 years of consistently doing the right thing before a gene that's sick turns back on to be healthy. It's the way it is. But it also takes 3 years for that healthy gene to turn off. Only person responsible for that is you, not your doctor, not your products, not anything else. You, okay? And you have the power to change it, okay? You have the power to change it. Okay. Last thing I'm going to show you is this, and I want everybody to see this. Here's what I want. This is a challenge that I'm challenging everybody in the Amplified family to do. It's a little bit gross, but it's all good. And we're all friends and family here. So this is what I want you to do. This is a test that you can do to see if you have candida and or leaky gut syndrome at home. It gives you a great idea of where you're at. So here's the test I want you to do. This is called the leaky gut spit test. Go get yourself a glass, just a clean, plain glass. Okay. Now, first thing in the morning, what I want you to do, I want you to take that glass. It's got to be a clear glass that you can see through. I want you to take that glass. I want you to fill that glass up to the tippity top with water. I want you to set that glass down on the countertop in your bathroom, kitchen, or wherever you're going to do this. Before you brush your teeth, you drink anything, you eat anything, you do anything in the morning, fill this thing up. I want you to spit in it. Now, I don't want a big old goober. I don't need snot. I just need spit, just saliva. Let that thing sit on the countertop for 15 minutes. Then what I want you to do is I want you to go take a picture of it from the side. I want you to post it in the Gut Connection page. I want you to do that because I want you to guys let it sit for 15 minutes. I want to show you how many people really have leaky gut syndrome. A healthy spit should stay floating at the top. If you've got too many indicans and toxins in your system, which where did I tell you they're going to detox from? Your spit, your sweat, your saliva, and your bowels. I do these tests in my office with urine all the time. I don't want you peeing in a cup at home. Okay. It's a whole different deal. Okay. But you can spit in it. All right. So do that first thing in the morning. Take a picture of it from the side. After 15 minutes, take a picture of it, post it on the site. What you're going to find is most people's spit is going to streak or go to the bottom. You're positive. That means you're positive for candida and leaky gut. Candida comes from leaky gut syndrome, period. I spent almost 15 years trying to kill candida by itself. And then once I figured out how to fix the gut and then kill the candida, guess what never came back? The candida never came back. That's a big, big deal. Does that make sense, everybody, on how to do that test? If not, go back and watch this video again. But I want you guys to post these pictures. I just want to see thousands of them on there. And we can even do before and afters. Every 30 days, you can take another spit test and see where you're at. That's a really great, simple test that costs you $0 to do at home. That's a fancy functional medicine test. You can come to my office and I'll charge you $100 to do it if you want. If you really need a doctor to do it, or you can do it on your own. So let's do that, you guys. Let's do that. So those are the main things that I wanted to cover tonight personally. Now I want to go through and help answer questions. So go back through, hit me with your questions, whatever you guys have. All right. Hit me with whatever questions you've got and I'm in. Let's rock and roll. So here we go. All right. Let me try to stop this here. First of all, you guys doing good so far? Has this been beneficial? Because I enjoy being here with y'all. I just want to make sure that it's beneficial for you. I'm here to help you guys and gals. All right. So here's what I want to go into first. Good. Here we go. So questions. What questions do you have about anything so far? Lay them on me. Let's roll. Does this help kids peeing the bed? Okay, great question. Nocturnal enuresis is the politically correct term for that, or bedwetting, whatever you want to call it. So here's the answer. The answer is this, is it can. What do you mean it can? Well, there's a lot of things that could be causing that. That could be caused by nerves not working like it's supposed to in the lower lumbar spine. The nerves at L3 and 4 in the spine control the bladder and the muscles of the bladder called the tragus muscles. A lot of times if the spine's out of alignment, the nerves don't work, that could cause it. Get that kid to a chiropractor or an osteopath. See if that's the case. Start them on the triad, especially the happy tides, because that one helps the body build up and reduce inflammation and repair its joints. That'll help a ton. Donna says Candida is fed from sugar. Yep, that's right. Eliminating sugar eliminates Candida. No, but it minimizes it. It'll minimizing sugar is a good thing anyway. Gosh darn it. Your questions are coming in so fast. I need to figure out how to freeze these. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Did I do it? Okay. Will this stop fungus spots on the skin? What's the fungus spots on the skin coming from? It's coming from the inside of the body out. Your fungus is trying to detox it. It's trying to come out through its toxin through the skin. It's a detox process. Yes, you've got to fix it from the inside out. If you don't fix fungus from the inside, you can't fix it on the outside. Now, if it's on the toes, yes, it can still help, but you got to do some soaks and Epsom salt for your feet. That'll help with that a lot. Does this help with seizures? Here's the thing. Seizures most often are caused by, number one, increased inflammation in the cranium. Okay. So if we can lower the cranial stuff, balance out the inflammation in there. Yes. And a lot of times seizures, as well as other neurological issues like Parkinson's, like dementia, like narcolepsy, all those things, and extreme fatigue or chronic fatigue syndrome, is all caused by poor circulation, which these products help with, especially the nootropics, and low neurotransmitters. So the answer is yes for that. I recently read that it's better to drink spring water and do not drink purified water because it's stripped of minerals. Okay, here's what I'll tell you. You want to drink living water. So what's living water? Spring water, filtered water, distilled water. I always put some pink Himalayan salt, a squeeze of lemon or squeeze of lime or something in there. I drink more herbal tea than I do water because that makes it alive. So you want to have food in your water so your body can absorb it better. Hope that makes sense. Dosage for GI issues, bloatiness, gas, weight loss, and menopause. I would probably start you at phase 2 to 3. I would start at 3 if I could and then go back down to 2. But remember, this is not a weight loss program. Now, you'll lose weight doing it if you do it right. Most people, here, you want the trick on losing weight? Here's the trick on losing weight, especially if you're over the age of 35, it's hormonal induced. It's blood sugar, insulin, and hormone induced. If you're eating 3 meals a day or more and you ain't exercising regularly, you can't lose weight. So guess what? Start intermittent fasting. Either do 18 hours and 6 hours, so 18 hours of fasting and 6 hours of eating. That's typically what I do Monday through Friday. Or some days I'll do 20 and 4, where I'll go 20 hours without eating and 4 hours of food. You can do it. You can totally do it. And it's the only way when you're not a kid anymore to burn fat, reduce inflammation, helps with cellular function in the body, helps with, you name it, helps with hormone production, etc. My adult son suffers from Tourette's, tics, and anxiety. That is a problem with neurotransmitters. It could also be a problem with the nerves in the upper part of his neck. That is definitely a vagus nerve problem, which 95% of the vagus nerve is in the GI tract. If you don't fix the GI tract, it's not going to work. Stephanie says, are you supposed to continue taking vitamins with Happy Tide still? I'm currently vitamin D deficient. Well, if you're vitamin D deficient, you better take more than 4,000 IUs a day. Stephanie, you better take 10,000 IUs a day if you're D deficient. And think about this. If I'm pouring my vitamin D into here, which is my intestines for absorption, and I got holes in here and it leaks out, am I ever going to fully get all that absorbability in there? No. So we got to fix your gut. And by the way, remember this. Supplements are there to supplement a lifestyle. Okay. Stephanie, here's the deal. If you're eating a good, healthy amount, if you're eating 4 to 6 cups a day of vegetables, you don't need any other supplements probably. If you're eating good, healthy, clean, lean meat, you don't need any other supplements if you're eating well. But if you're eating a standard American diet, which most of us do, then yeah, you're going to have to supplement because you're not going to get the minerals in your body and the nutrients that you need. Everybody's independently different on that. I have someone who claims they are fiber intolerant and won't be able to do the Happy Tides. They're not fiber intolerant. Okay, let me tell you this. A lot of people are misinformed, and they're misinformed by their doctors. Okay, trying to think of the most polite way to say this. Most times when people say I have sensitivities to citrus or sensitivities to coffee, or that's because you have leaky gut. If I have sensitivities to food or environmental stuff, it's most likely because your gut is leaky. We're made to consume fiber. 95% of Americans are Western diet eating people are deficient in fiber. Fiber mixes with good healthy bacteria to make short chain fatty acids. That's our Biome X. Our Biome X is that on steroids, but that's the cause of sickness and disease. This person, they're misinformed. They're not fiber intolerant. They may have taken some fiber that causes them to get inflammation and bloatiness and even constipation. But our fiber is a acai. It's a acai gum fiber. It's the healthiest fiber that you can get, and it's really a prebiotic. So that's not true. Okay, get them on water, and they'll be good with that. Let's see. Post-surgical glioblastoma doing really well. Post-brain surgery started slow with the Hapitides Biomax, but built up to phase 4. Yeah, you can do that. You should totally do that. I was intermittent fasting when I started, but I couldn't handle happy caps while intermittent fasting. That's because your body wasn't burning fat. It was burning sugar. So when you put an ATP stimulant, which is what we have in our nootropics, it makes your body make more energy faster. It's going to grab either fat or sugar to burn energy. You don't want it to burn protein. It's going to grab fat, sugar, or fat. If you run out of sugar real fast, that's because your liver's not doing what's called glyconeogenesis, grab and store fat, burn it. You're not taking it off your face or your gut and burning it. That's why. So I would work my way back up to intermittent fasting. Customer is experiencing numb lips and swollen tingling when drinking. Okay, so here's what's going on with that. That person is a sugar burner. So they need to dose down their dose of coffee. So they don't need to do either a half a scoop, a third a scoop, or if they're doing happy caps, open them up and take half of it. Dose your way up. Get your body used to burning fat as fuel, but they've also got to change their diet. They cannot be feeding themselves with a bunch of pastas, carbs, lectin foods, a bunch of sugar or juice, because it's just going to cause this up and down spike of insulin, which will lead to insulin resistance and ultimately diabetes, syndrome X, and all kinds of problems. I've had digestive issues for 30 years, joint pain, back pain, spasms, sleep, but don't wake up feeling like I've slept in 20 years, fatigue, general low vitality. Could this all be from one issue? Yeah, leaky gut. It's inflammation. Let's see. Panic attacks. That's dope. That's a dopamine issue. Okay. Best way to lose weight in your face and neck, intermittent fasting. It's really hard to spot reduce. Okay. Tony might talk a little different about that. But intermittent fasting is going to be the key, David. Let's see. Another question here. Question from a customer. Is it okay to take happy caps if you're on holistic cream bioidentical therapies? Yes. I also take Armor Thyroid. Yes, there's no problem with that. Yeah, no, that's totally, there's no contraindication to that. I don't see any contraindications medicine-wise with any of the products that we're on. None of them. Even again, it's a lack of knowledge. Okay. It's a lack of knowledge. People have been told that, man, I can't take vitamin K because I'm on a blood thinner. Yes, you can, especially the kind that we have, because it's formulated with the tributyrin and the A and D together, and our body can absorb it. And it's such a low dose, it's not going to affect that person at all. That'd be like telling them they can't ever have vegetables or healthy butter. Are certain diets such as keto okay to be on while you're on the triad? Sure. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If you could just eat clean organic foods, because there's glyphosate and GMOs in those foods, they tear up your gut. Even if you eat lots of fruits and vegetables, but they're filled with GMOs and glyphosates, it's killing you. And then the big thing is the human body needs dark leafy green vegetables, which is a great place to get your fiber. And it needs fermented foods, sauerkrauts and fermented vegetables. And it needs good, healthy, clean, lean meats, proteins. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, you can get those through beans and legumes. But I'm telling you, you're better off with doing that. Best resource for intermittent fasting. There's lots of them. Just start YouTube and Google them. Go on YouTube. I think I've got some videos on there as well that I've done on intermittent fasting. I got quite a bit of them. How can this affect someone that's on SSRIs? It's not going to affect their medications. But what it can do is if it builds up serotonin naturally over time, that person can have an opportunity to wean off those SSRI medications. Once someone gets put on SSRIs, most people are never taken off. Most people, when they get put on any medication, are never taken off because the root cause of the problem is never addressed. So therefore, how can they get off that medication? The medication is not fixing the problem. It's altering the physiology. It is completely safe, completely effective. I put all my patients that are on SSRI meds on the triad, every single one of them. When I first started the triad, it took my cravings away for sweets and carbs. But now after 30 days, my cravings are back. Is that normal? It's not uncommon. Remember this as well, you guys. We just had a shift in our seasons. We just shifted from winter to spring. Well, our body's cravings shift when that happens. It's going to shift again when we go from spring to summer. It's going to shift again from summer to fall and fall to winter. We change with that. Throw some intermittent fasting on there. Start moving your body and make sure you're hydrated. The number one cause of daytime fatigue and the number one cause of uncontrolled appetite and craving sweets and sugars a lot of times is dehydration. Let's see, from one customer about triad. Do you know how safe this product would be for a 16-year-old? Okay, so I treat most kids over the age of 12 like adults because most of them are built like adults. So if they can swallow the pills, I'm going to put them on the BioMyX and I'm going to put them on the Happy Tides. Now, here's what I tell you. I have some patients, and I know I have a lot of you that have done this before, that have used the BioMyX and have poked a hole in it and put it in applesauce or something. You got a better palate than I do. I think that tastes horrible because that butyrate, that butyric acid, it's just got a funky smell to it, to me anyway. But if you can get it in that way, do it. It's totally safe for kids to do. I've got babies that are on the nucleotides. Okay. I've got 100-year-old plus patients that are on this program. I got pro athletes that are on it, and everybody in between: cancer patients, dialysis patients, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, all this kind of stuff. But remember this: when your gut is leaking, when the gut's bad, you cannot get rid of inflammation. You can't burn fat as fuel. The endocrine system, which is the hormone system, is right above the function of the GI tract. So if the GI tract is bad, you can't go to the next level of that. Okay. Why do I always get an oregano after I take the BioMyX? Joan, you must be eating a lot of oregano or something. I don't know why you get that taste. But here's what I will tell you is when you get butyric acid in your system, butyric acid does interact with other acids in the body, and it can cause some people to have like a different taste because of their tongues detoxing or their detox coming out through that. Not a big deal. Okay. Happy Tides help aging dogs. Yeah, if you can get them in them. We have a lot of patients that are doing that right now. You know what else really helps with aging with dogs is that hemp product that we have for pets. That's amazing for animals. Dosage for 4-year-old severe tummy issues. What I would do with a 4-year-old, I would start with a half a scoop twice a day and see how that gets them. Check their diet as well. They probably have leaky gut syndrome. Most kids do. What about headaches, drinking the coffee? They're probably deficient in minerals. Start loading. It's a detox, okay? But start loading. Back of your head and neck right here is a reflex area for low minerals. Do this. Start taking 400 milligrams every morning of magnesium or 400 milligrams before you go to bed, and start loading yourself up with the pink Himalayan salt. That should help. What are my thoughts on collagen supplements? I'm a big fan. I don't take it. My wife takes collagen. As long as it's clean and organic, you're good. I'm a big fan of bone broth. Get a lot of collagen from that. So there you go with that. Dosage for someone with narcolepsy. If it's a kid, if they're below the age of 12, try to get 1 scoop twice a day if you can with them. If they're 12 and up, treat them like an adult. I would try to get them on phase 3 at first, and the coffee or the Happy Tides, the coffee or the Happy Caps is going to be very important for that person as well, unless they're a kid. Oat milk instead of rice or almond milk. My question from this afternoon. Whatever you, I mean, I'm not a fan of any of them, honestly. But if you need something, whichever one doesn't upset your stomach, most people are going to do better with either almond, okay, or that's it. People have a lot of sensitivities to rice, and a lot of people have sensitivities to oats. So just be aware of that. And cow's milk is for cows. Does collagen and coffee break a fast? Yes. Well, it depends on the collagen. If there's any calories in there, it can. Fiber does not break a fast, and I'll argue that with anybody, because the most important thing with fast is insulin spikes, and so fiber keeps your insulin from spiking. It's really, really good. So the Happy Tides does not cause a break in your fast, and I've checked that with my patients. Can antibiotics cause leaky gut and food sensitivities? Yes, Rick. Antibiotics are one of the primary causes of leaky gut syndrome. It can destroy the gut bacteria. One antibiotic prescription can destroy the gut bacteria for up to 2 years. And the average person gets 3 prescriptions of antibiotics per year. Think about that. Most people are walking around with no good, healthy gut bacteria. The triad plus eating some fermented foods, a game changer. A friend of mine is going through adrenal fatigue. Okay, can you talk about that a little bit and recommend a mixture? Yeah, Eric, put him on phase 3, 1 scoop 3 times a day, 1 Biomax 3 times a day, and either one Happy Cap or 1 coffee in the morning. And I would also get that person, listen, here's a side note. I don't want to freak anybody out, but if you're an adrenal fatigue person, don't give them any broccoli. Don't give them any cauliflower. No broccoli, no cauliflower. And if they eat kale and it gets them gas, don't eat that either. The adrenal medulla doesn't break down those nutrients very well from cauliflower, broccoli, and kale. They're cruciferous vegetables. Those are the 3 guys that are the worst to eat whenever you have adrenal fatigue or chronic fatigue. Just avoid those, okay? Hope that helps. Still having swelling, especially my ankles and feet. I have loss of 16 pounds, 3 inches in waist. That's awesome. I take 3 Biome, good. My diverticulitis is almost gone. Awesome. I've cut sugar, been on the product for 2.5 months, increased water. What else can I do for the swelling? You're doing it. It's a process. Just give your body time. You're not at the 90 days yet. Okay. Give your body time. Okay. Do the detox stuff we talked about. Keep your body moving. Try to sweat. That's another good one you can do. Epsom salt soaks. Keep doing that stuff. Congratulations on doing that. Best time of day to take Happy Cap in the morning. You don't want to take that in the afternoon or evening. You'll be up. What about if you have liver or gallbladder discomfort combined with food sensitivities? That's from leaky gut. Liver and gallbladder issues is usually you're not making an enzyme called amylase or protease. So a multi-enzyme with each meal would be beneficial with that. If you do have liver stress, this program will help with that over time. There's an herb called milk thistle. 750 milligrams of milk thistle a day is good for the liver, but having a multi-enzyme when you eat, that will help you tremendously. Enzymes are different than nucleotides and prebiotics and postbiotics. Enzymes are the worker bees for the body: amylase, lipase, and protease. I'm out of Happy Tides and new order has not arrived. Should I take Biomex still? Yes. Trochanteric bursitis in the hips. What products can help with this? The triad, because it reduces inflammation. The BioMyX will help reduce inflammation and feed the cells. Nucleotides are for repair. Nucleotides repair damaged tissue. Okay. You got scar tissue, you got inflammation, joints aren't healing. The nucleotides are necessary for that. Help with the fatty liver, intermittent fasting, and this program. Well, here's what you need to do. Do the gut health food plan. Okay. Commit to 90 days. Just commit to 90 days at first. You'll see a huge change. You get a new liver about every 14 to 18 months. The cells turn over. So it takes time, but at least commit to 12 weeks of consistently doing it, 90 days. And do the triad, lots of water and detox. And that's probably gonna be the answer for most people. What if our liver enzymes and other levels look good on test? Okay, that's fine. But if you still have gallbladder and liver stress when you eat, you still need to do the same things. The enzymes are really there only when you have fatty liver syndrome, really, or if you got sugar overload issues. Are hemp hearts okay to take? Yeah, I'm a big fan of hemp hearts, Greg. Big fan of hemp hearts. Would the triad help with neuropathy? Yes. I typically put folks on phase 4 neuropathy. You got to remember, neuropathy is also caused by another 2 things. Either blood sugar levels are out of balance. Too much sugar being high is going to cause the outside layer of the nerves to demyelinate, and or there's compression of the disc and the nerve root in either the neck or the back. If it's the hands and fingers, it's the neck. If it's the toes and feet, it's the low back. So get to an osteopath or a chiropractor. How many nucleotides for cancer cells? Can nucleotides make cancer cells maturate? No, not at all. You mean in a bad way? Hell no, not at all. They have chemotactic principles. Nucleotides and biomimetics, so tributyrin, have chemotactic principles. Chemotactic is where the term chemotherapy came from. Biomimetics need to be taken with food or an empty stomach. You can take it on an empty stomach. I usually take mine with lunch and dinner, usually. Anyone ever mention any side effects from the triad or more, especially the coffee, fast heart? Well, here's the thing. These are nootropics. They're going to increase circulation. It's going to speed up the heart because most people that don't have cardiovascular activity or don't move a lot during the day, their heart's not used to beating right. So you start giving it energy, it's going to start beating more. You want to fix that, stay consistent with it, with the coffees and whatnot, it'll go down, but get some cardio. Start going for a walk every day. Just real simple walking and breathing. It's a great way to get your cardiovascular up, and that'll help you with that. Both my cholesterol jacked up. What dosage should I do? I would do, you know what? That's a good question. If it's just cholesterol, I'd start at phase 3, move down to 2. Okay. Do the spit test, see how bad you are. But the food plan is going to be the best. Okay. So if we don't do Tony Freeman's gut cleanse, we won't lose weight. No, Patty, that's not what I said. You'll lose it faster if you do. But if you eat like crap, if you eat too many meals a day, if you're eating, by the way, I'm just going to tell you right now, if you really want to lose weight, this whole eating 3 to 5 meals a day is completely ridiculous. Unless you're training and you got your macros dialed in, but most people don't have enough metabolism in their system to eat that much. 2 meals a day, intermittent fasting, clean out the gut, eat the right foods, which is what the gut right food plan is, but there's a detox component to it. That'll help you do it faster. Should I be asking my questions on the chat rather than the Q&A? I don't know. Just I'm reading the ones on the side there, Marlo, and I promise I'll do the best I can to answer all of them. I got a couple hundred questions that come through, and there's just little old me talking as fast as I can. Can you explain how these problems can help someone with glaucoma? Great question. So, okay, glaucoma is an inflammatory issue. It's a fluid issue. Now, there's other things that go with glaucoma, but it's a fluid balance issue. And again, it goes back to healthy cells. The healthier your cells are, the less inflammation you have. I have a lot of patients that have glaucoma and visual issues, and we put them on the triad, every one of them. Also, sugars have a lot to do with the eyes and glaucoma. If sugars are spiking up and down, insulin's going up and down a lot, that's definitely going to cause a problem. Okay. If anybody's having trouble finding the gut right food plan, it's on the Healthy Gut site, or get with the person that got you here and they can get it for you. Thoughts on hormone blockers for menopause, hormone cancer receptors, breast cancer positive, Julie? So breast cancer is an estrogen dominance issue. I'm sure you know that. So they put you on usually a anastrozole or an anastrozole, whatever you want to call it, to block that. I don't have a major issue with that. Diet's a big component. Estrogen dominance is really a fat metabolism issue, and it's diet related. So I would really focus on a good 6 to 12 months of cleaning up my diet, getting my chemistry as clean as possible and as healthy as I can, and then maybe look at weaning yourself off of that. But the kind of the standard of medical care is once you've had hormone positive cancer, the protocol is they put you on it and they just keep you on it for life. So just FYI. What about Alzheimer's and dementia? It's a circulation issue, not getting enough fluid to the brain and not getting enough oxygen to the brain. The vessels get small. The nootropic coffee and the happy caps helps with that. The minerals, or not the minerals, the herbs and then the 2 amino acids that are in there help with circulation for the brain. Huge. Okay. Dementia and Alzheimer's is also an issue with neurotransmitters. So fixing the gut helps with that, especially dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine is usually a big issue with especially dementia and even Parkinson's too. And then the other big thing is your body needs those nucleotides to repair. Nucleotides repair tissue, soft tissue in the joints, soft tissue in the muscles, brain and nerve tissue as well. All needs that. My mom over 80, her docs said afraid this program causes AFib. That's fear, false evidence appearing real. That's not true. I'm happy to talk to your mom's doctor. They just don't know what they're talking about. So does all 4 products cause you to detox? Getting healthy causes you to detox. If you go and you start eating a healthy lifestyle, your cells go, cool, I want to go from being sick to being healthy. So these are health products. They're going to help you get healthier. Everybody needs nucleotides. Not enough people are getting enough fiber. Not enough people are getting short chain fatty acids. We're biohacking your body, giving you these. Plus, most people don't get enough circulation and brain activity. So the coffee and or the Happy Caps does that. That will cause your body to push out its toxins. That's a good thing. You don't want to keep your toxins in. You want them out, not in. So that's good. How does this help someone with Hashimoto's? So Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease, thyroiditis, Hashimoto's. Autoimmune, majority of it's caused by the toxins leaking outside of the gut. It's just affecting your thyroid. Now, the number one stressor on the thyroid is the gut. Usually the gut goes bad, then the thyroid goes second. Thyroid is a secondary organ. It doesn't go bad by itself. When you are talking about detox, are you speaking from the diet and fasting? Okay, so let me make this real simple. When you eat, nobody can avoid toxins. We live, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the clothes that we wash our stuff in, we wash our body in, the chemicals in the air, the drugs we take, the drugs that are in the food, the stuff that's in our everything. Everybody's body is toxic. Your toxins get held inside your cells. When you get toxic cells, the cells shrink and they don't work like they're supposed to. If your cells don't work, your body gets sick. You see, your organs are nothing more than trillions of cells put together. So if the cells don't work, now the organs don't work right. The organs don't work right, now you start to get symptoms. See, and all most people care about are their symptoms. But the reality of it is the symptoms are caused by organ dysfunction, caused by cellular dysfunction, caused by toxins. So when you start getting your body healthy again, the cells start working better, the organs start working better, symptoms go away. Does that make sense? And anything you do to get yourself healthy should help your body push out toxins, okay? But don't worry about that. That's not a big deal. And most people do really well not having any issues with detox. Sometimes you got to get them out, though. Better out than in. How would you suggest starting this program for someone with a lot of food allergies and Crohn's? You know, that's a great question. Judy, I would say ideally with Crohn's, I put them on phase 3. But if you're nervous about it, start with 2 and move yourself up. I'm always cool with starting slow and moving up. I even have some people that are phase 4 that I know they're a hot mess, and I'll start them with half a scoop a day, do that for a week, then a full scoop a day, that for a week, then 2 scoops a day, then 3, then 4. Just build them up to it. It's kind of like going from the couch to a marathon. You just baby step it. Okay. What about someone on chemo and radiation? Heck yeah. Nucleotides. I mean, the data on nucleotides, the helping people with immunocompromised stuff, and the anti-oxidative help that it gives, because oxidative stress happens with radiation and chemo. It's amazing for it. What if someone is on antipsychotropics and mood stabilizers? Can they eventually get off of them? Sometimes they can. I see that a lot. If they change their diet, change their lifestyle, but it's not like over the weekend. It takes 90 days to make a change. It takes 6 months to make a change in physiology. It takes a good, 9 to 12 months to make permanent change in brain firing and wiring. So yeah, it's all about neurotransmitters with that stuff. Perfect. Let's see. Okay, thanks. Wondering if I need to be fasting or in ketosis in order to detox. No, your body's going to detox when you take the right stuff. You drink half your body weight in ounces of water every day. That's going to detox your body. You sweat, you're detoxing. The body's always in a constant state of trying to pull the toxins out of it. This is just going to help it. And that's what you need. I haven't had success with constipation using these products. I'm still having to use Miralax. Yeah, Claire, how much water a day you drinking, Claire? And how much fiber you getting in your diet? 2 main things that cause constipation: not enough water and not enough fiber. So tell me how much fiber you get, how many cups of vegetables do you get a day, how much water you drinking, Claire? Let me know on that. And then I'll tell you what you need to tweak. Crystal says, do you need to have the Happy Caps or coffee with the other 2, or can you just use, you can use the Biomax and the Happy Tides by themselves. It works better together because you're stimulating the vagus brain and vagus up here and down here. This is 5% up here plus brain function, and then the Happy Tides and the Biomax is the lower levels. Is it all right to mix Happy Tides in orange juice or drink? Yeah, that's fine. Just a lot of sugar, Donna, in orange juice. Okay, a lot of sugar. And people say, I get all my vitamin C from my orange juice. No, you don't. There's hardly any vitamin C in a gallon of orange juice. It's so much sugar. It's just not good. Juice is not good for us, you guys. It's just not. Can this program help with rheumatoid arthritis? Yes. If so, how should they begin? I'd start them with phase 2 or phase 3. If they really want to make a big impact quick, go to phase 3, clean up the diet, push a lot of water so that pushes the toxins of the inflammation out. But rheumatoid arthritis is a sign of autoimmune issues, and then it just settles in the joints. You guys doing okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this. By the way, I know I could probably go all night. I won't. I'm going to go for a couple more minutes, and then we'll go from there. David says, wife has hypothyroidism. She's on Synthroid. What products could help with this? Well, number one, you got to fix the gut to get the thyroid right. Okay. You got the gut here, then you got the thyroid, gut, endocrine system. Get the gut right. Okay. Do the spit test. See how bad she is with that candida spit issue and the leaky gut spit. Fix that and that. Other thing I would add is iodine. Iodine is a game changer for thyroid. Okay. I'm taking Hapitides and Biomex. Should I discontinue multivitamins? If you're eating a good diet, you don't have to supplement it, right? So here's what I'll tell you. Do the triad. Get your servings of vegetables every day. Minimize your fruit. Low glycemic fruits like berries are good, but you should be loading up on lots of dark green leafy vegetables. That 4 horsemen salad that Tony Freeman taught me and has taught us all, drinking bone broth and having sauerkraut, game changer. Start eating those things, man. That 4 horsemen salad, sauerkraut regularly, bone broth, game changer. Okay. Looking to help a 9-year-old that is mom thinks has Tourette's. All right. So again, it's probably a neurotransmitter issue, but it could be some stuff going on in the vagus nerve. So there could be, we're talking about chemical stresses. I'm also telling you that if there's some physical stresses in the upper neck that mess up the nerves that go to the brain, they should go see a chiropractor or a DO that knows how to handle that stuff. A couple more and then we'll rock it out. How do you take iodine? If you're going to get iodine, most adults need between 150 to 300 micrograms a day. It needs to be iodine that comes from seaweed or kelp, and either in a liquid form or a powder form is the best. Liquid I usually like. I'm not hungry while on the triad and worried about nutritional deficiencies. Valerie, real simple. Eat. I'm not hungry. We eat. Okay. I mean, that just eat. Like eat healthy food, but eat. And when you do eat, make sure it's calorie dense, good, healthy foods, lean, clean meats, and dark leafy green vegetables. Eat. You need to eat. We need those nutrients. Okay. Let's see, a couple more, and then we're going to go. I also have spinal stenosis, lower back. Can I come see you yeah, you can come to one of my offices, Marlo. I'm happy to help you. Or wherever you live, I'll try to help you find someone in your guys' areas as well. I got a pretty big network of doctors. Spinal stenosis, depending upon what grade it is, 1, 2, 3, or 4, will determine how well your body can heal. And you need nucleotides to heal the disc space between the vertebrae. That's a big deal. Big deal. All right. Any final thoughts or questions that you guys have before we shut her down tonight? Because I really enjoy being with you guys. If you're on Hapitides 3 times a day in Biomex, 4 gels, and not losing weight, what am I doing wrong? Okay. Well, what are you eating? Because I'm telling you, listen to me. The nucleotides in the Biomex are not going to cause you by themselves to lose weight. If you're not cleaning up your diet, start intermittent fasting. Start pushing your water. Start getting your body moving. Just go for a walk every day. Put good nutritional foods in your body and intermittent fast. Start fasting 16 hours and eat for 8 hours. So like Monday through Friday, do this. Monday through Friday, no breakfast. Okay. If you're hungry throughout the day, have some bone broth. Okay. But try to go as long as you can without it. And between noon and 6, there's your 6 hours of time you can eat. Have 2 meals in there. And make your meals be about 4 to 6 ounces of protein and about 4 to 8 ounces of dark leafy green vegetables. Just do that. Eating sauerkraut if you're hungry, and that 4 horsemen salad, you'll lose weight. You'll lose weight from it. You'll totally lose weight from it. You have a customer that has no gallbladder and half a stomach. Triad made her sick, and Hapitides made her mean. So the mean came from, here's why she got mean. Do you know anybody, you ever been around somebody when their sugars drop? When your sugar drops, you get hangry, right? So this person's digestion is jacked up. They're burning sugar, not fat, as fuel. They need to tweak their diet, especially with no gallbladder. I'm gonna tell you right now, this person does this program and does it right. They get healthy and they save their life. If not, the rest of their life is gonna suck with a capital S, and it's their decision. Because no gallbladder means you cannot digest fats worth a darn. You need fat for all your hormone production. You need fat to be able to burn fat. You need fat to keep your nerves going. So they're going to be more prone to fibromyalgia and etc. Half their stomach is gone either because they had cancer or had a tube or a surgery done. So now they're not absorbing vitamin A, D, and K. They need to take the Biomax for that. Have them start very slow, half a scoop a day. What I would do with someone that's that sick, have a scoop a day, twice a day, one Biomax a day. Do that for like 2 weeks, then go up to one scoop twice a day if you can do it, and then 2 Biomax. I would get them. I would not put them on either the coffee or the nuclear or the Happy Tides at first, just because their body's not going to be able to handle the burn whenever when the nucleotides goes in the body, not nucleotides, I'm sorry. When the coffee goes in the body or the Happy Caps goes in the body, it's going to grab sugar to try to burn fuel. They're not burning fat, so they're going through their sugar too quick. I hope that makes sense. Can you fast when on insulin? Absolutely you can, Francis. Absolutely can. Can you regrow cartilage in your joints? Yes, you can. Marlo, you're in west of St. Louis. What part of where at? What part of west? I'm west of St. Louis too. You're probably close to me then. All right. No gallbladder. Can they still do the short chain fatty acids? Absolutely. Please do it. All right, you guys. It's 9:20. We've been rocking for an hour and almost hour and a half. I hope you all enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed tonight. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Please remember this. We have the opportunity to make changes in our own lives. We need to be the change that we want to see with our people. If we got people that we're trying to go, hey, this is the lifestyle you should lead. This is what you should do. Look how great I feel. You gotta be the change that you want to see. You gotta be the change you want to see. Okay. If you do that, it'll be huge. Now, the other thing is this: life's all about opportunities. It's about taking advantage of the opportunity while the opportunity is still there. We have the opportunity to change people's lives. My question to you is, will you talk to people about it? Because I'm telling you right now, everybody's got health issues. And if there was an affordable, convenient, and effective way to get rid of it, wouldn't they want to know about it? The answer is always yes. Okay. So please, I love the amazing testimonials. Keep sharing them with us. Keep moving through. You got questions, you got customers' questions, get it to us. We're going to answer them. We do the best we can to get to all of them. I apologize if we don't answer your questions. We literally get thousands of them every week, sometimes hundreds of them a day, and it's hard to keep up with them, but we do the best we can. And the answers are usually the same. Do the triad, do the gut reset, eat right, work on the detox, drink your fluids, give your body time to heal. So until we meet again, everybody, I love and appreciate you. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the world. Have a great rest of the week, and I will see you all next Wednesday. Be blessed, everyone.